And we are live. It's always kind of a surprise when it happens.
Well,
Um,
you get to an age where it's it's kind of like, oh, I woke up again.
yeah. So we are here with another winner of a writing competition. We've done like three winners now we've had on the show. So it's kind of special. Sarah Chorn, she was the winner of Sphinx version 1, so she will always be the first and ultimate winner of the
Trendsetter.
competition.
Yeah.
So the bar has been set. Sarah, how are you doing tonight?
I'm nervous. I don't know why. I'm nervous, but I'm
Oh,
Oh,
excited.
you've never seen this show, have you?
I don't know. I think I'm keyed up about traveling tomorrow, but you guys
eh,
get me a little bit nervous. So here
Oh,
I am.
you're going to
Ta-da.
Worldcon?
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
where are you flying from?
Salt Lake City.
Well, that's not too far then.
No, it's like 2.5 hours. So it's kind of long enough to watch a movie and then you're done, which is
Right.
nice. So
Yeah.
it's not too bad at all.
Yeah, that's not bad. Mike's is
Yeah.
gonna be what, 6, 7 hours, Mike?
oh yeah, it's going to be like 2 hours to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Seattle.
Where are you coming from?
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. That's that's awesome. 6 hours. That's
So
you're
you're
gonna be
leaving
sore.
tomorrow, Sarah?
Yeah, yeah.
What are you going out a day early for?
I'm traveling with my family.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're bringing the
It,
kids with us. So I'm staying a day early and then like we're leaving on Sunday. So we'll have a little bit of time on either side of when I have stuff scheduled.
Now, as the big SIFO or whatever it's called, sorry.
Sphinx.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Winner, you have a lot of panels and stuff lined up, a lot of things that you're scheduled to do at Worldcon.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they mostly have me doing editor stuff. And I'm doing a workshop with Ken Skulls. And that'll be fun. And then I have a table talk with Beth Tabler for Grimdark Magazine. And then I
Nice.
have a few panels that I'm doing, but yeah, they mostly have me focusing on the editing side of things.
So you do a lot of editing work.
Yeah, yeah, that's my full-time job.
So what is your pet peeve? First person?
No, first person doesn't bug me. I write in first person, so it doesn't bug me.
And
Nice.
that, kids, is what happens when you don't do your homework.
Yeah, I don't mind it. No, I my pet peeves vary depending on what I'm working on, I think. Every book has its own little thing, its own little
Yeah.
quirk, but I've been editing for 10 years now, so I don't really have a ton of pet peeves that I can't overcome. I mean, if I did, then I wouldn't do the job anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you'd be in the wrong business, I guess.
So
yeah, yeah. So,
so Sarah, I have a idea to throw out there to see what you think.
okay.
I very passionately believe that the English language only has need for one raised horizontal line, and I
Yeah.
don't care which one you pick, but we need to get rid of two of the three out of M dash, N dash, and hyphens.
And
What, what do we think?
I am going to do something I rarely do. I am going to fully agree with Michael. I think if a dash is good enough for most things, it's good enough for all the things.
So
I
what
don't
is your take
know.
on this?
I think there's a time and a place for everything. I've been yelled at for using M dashes. I've been yelled at for using N dashes. I've been yelled at for using hyphens. I don't have an opinion. I think my opinion on argument is whatever my client feels, then I'm right there with them. If
Okay, so
they're
you agree
anti,
with us then, because we're
yeah,
your
I
clients
agree with
then.
you. If
All right.
my client is anti M dash, then by damn, I will go through and I will take out every M dash. I will hate M dashes viscerally the entire time I work on the manuscript. I will burn them all. But then if they love M dashes, I will find places to put them. I will sprinkle them in. It really just depends. So I like what my authors like.
Mike, this
So
might be a good time to ask you a ridiculous question because it sounds like she might give you the answer you want.
well, I just want to say that when I write, I just put hyphens, and Ro is my editor, and he changes them all. And then when I
Yeah.
send them to my proofreader, she changes whatever Ro did to something else, and I don't know which one ends up being. I have no idea. I don't care. I am stubbornly going to not learn the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I just don't care. And if I have to change something, I will copy and paste from earlier in the story, so it's all the same line distance. But yeah.
Oh, I have a friend who's a copy editor. And when I first started editing, he gave me wisdom, which I used for my business. And his advice was, he said, Sarah, nobody's ever going to tell you this. But the truth of the matter is, every reader you have is going to overlook a comma in the wrong place, but they're not going to overlook a plot hole. And so that's kind of how I look at things. Like, your readers are going to be really forgiving if you use the wrong kind of dash. They're not going to be as forgiving if you've got like characters teleporting places and teleportation does not exist in your world. That's a problem. So, there's different levels of concern, I think.
But there's no such thing as the right kind of dash. Just a dash.
So now I'm going to ask my question, Ro, to get it out of the way.
Okay, yeah, do that.
So like 90% of the people on this show get it wrong, including Ro.
This is your best chance, man. Make it
Oh,
worth
I'm
it.
going to get it wrong. See, now you put me on the spot. I guarantee you I'm going to get it wrong. I'm
So
100%.
well, it's an opinion question, but opinions can be wrong in this case.
Don't give it away in your delivery.
I will not. So I want you to picture you're going down the main drag of your city.
Mhm.
You're in a saddle. That saddle can either be on a T-Rex or it can be on a griffin. Which one do you choose and why? There's only one correct answer.
There's not. Well, there is. It's just not his.
All right, so I'm going to have to go with Griffin. They're furry.
90% of the people do.
95 to 98, probably. Sorry. You do not get 1 out of 10 of these, Mike. You just don't.
EL is on my side.
Yeah, but he can't count every week. He can count once.
Nope, I count them every week. I got to do what I got to do.
All right.
And Jeff McIntyre, there we go. Man, he understands.
All right. You've done well there. Sorry.
So that's the hard question for the show. Now the rest is easy.
Why don't you tell us about your book that won Sphinx?
A Sarah named Joy. Yeah. So, what do you want to know about it?
So, in case you don't know, we do like zero prep. Like I literally,
Okay.
I was like, I know
Do you just want me to
Sarah's.
tell you like what it's about, or?
So before we start, I knew you wrote The Necessity of Rain, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that must be the Sphinx winner. And I actually looked up, and I was like, oh no, it's not. I now
Yeah.
know
No.
2 of Sarah's books. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do not prepare. So
No, it's
anything we
fine.
say is
I
new and
don't
different to us.
either. I don't prepare either. So this is really fun for all three of us because I came in
Awesome,
here. I'm flying at night. I have no idea what's going on. So here we are.
nice. There we go.
Let's start here. Who did this
Okay.
cover? Because that's really cool.
Yeah.
I did it. Yeah. So I recently had a
Oh
new
wow.
one made. But yeah, that is just stock art that I bought and then I put the font on there. I didn't think anyone would ever read the book. And so I never made a paperback copy and I wasn't even going to publish it. And then I decided to last minute because my editor was like, this is really good. And then I figured, well, nobody reads novellas and nobody reads my books. And so that means that nobody's going to read this. So I just went out there and I found something and I dropped like $80 on this cover and put some letters on it. And I thought nobody is ever going to read this book. It was from an artist that a lot of other indie authors have used. His art's really common around. You'll see it a lot. But yeah, and then I recently had Caden Love's wife does cover art. And so
Yeah.
when the book won the contest, I kind of thought, I should probably invest in getting cover art that looks half decent on it. And so she did the cover art that's currently on the book, the version that you can get on Amazon. And I have a paperback that's finally available. A few years late, but it's finally there. So now it's there, but it looks like a real book. So.
And will you have any of these in Seattle?
I will not. No. I don't have I realized today I don't have any copies of any of my books like anywhere in my house. So, and I just realized that if I'd realized it 2 weeks ago, I could have gotten some. But no, I'll have business cards and I'll have my sparkling self. But
Ah,
there you go. That's the one that I have now.
there we go.
I've got to say, Sarah, that I really like the other one a lot better.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, who gives a shit what I think, right? I get that. Don't get me wrong. But the other one just stands out a lot more.
Yeah.
So if you want to capture the Gen X male market,
but
what
I've
Ro is
never won
saying is,
anything, so what the hell does that mean? So you sounded just the entire time you were talking there, the positivity that was flowing through you. Um, is it fair to say that there was a little imposter syndrome when you first started writing, that you had a little bit of that going?
Oh yeah, I still do. I have a very I struggle with my opinion a lot. But
I
yeah,
think, and winning Sphinx didn't kind of make you say, well, maybe this isn't, maybe a lot of people will read this, and maybe this is really good, and people are right.
I don't know because it kind of hit me at a time where I was going through some mental health things. So I've had a 15-year health odyssey that I'm currently coming out of. I had cancer 3 times. I had a spine
oof,
injury and I had to learn how to walk again.
Oh,
I was diagnosed with a incurable degenerative illness that attacks my whole body. So I'm coming out of 15 years of stuff. And about when I entered this contest to about this year, I really started spinning a lot. And I didn't quite realize what was happening until last year. I started having episodes and it started impacting my life. Like I went to the doctor and because I had 18 surgeries in 15 years. So
wow.
I went to the doctor about some pain I was having in my toe, and my husband was there. And the doctor came into the room and he kind of looked at things and he goes, well, you have to have your toe fused. I mean, obviously. And to him, it was this casual thing, but to me, it was like all of a sudden 15 years of doctor stuff just came crashing down on me. And it was crazy. Like everyone was looking at me weird. And I realized then something was going on. And so a lot of anyway, the long story short is I eventually went to a few doctors and I'm in therapy now, but I've been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So a lot of this stuff with like a sorrow named Joy entering the contest and stuff, I never quite registered winning it because it got subsumed by this PTSD that I didn't know what was happening yet. And so for me, at the time, I don't know how to explain it, but at the time in my head, I just it just wasn't there. It wasn't, so I felt more guilty for winning because like I took the opportunity away from someone else more than anything else. So anyway, this year I've been in therapy and it's been the best thing ever. But yeah, I've been a bit of a head case and I'm coming out of a really hard time and it's been a lot, but that also impacts my writing. If you read my novella, you'll see a lot of my um a lot of some of my past is in there. My mother picked it
Yep.
out pretty easily. She read it and she goes, "Oh, this is about this event in your life, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So I do. I write a lot of my stuff based on my experiences. The Necessity of Rain was very much about my experience with disability, with accepting what my body can and can't do and being okay with it.
That's
So,
probably why you
I do.
won.
I pour, yeah, I
Yeah.
pour all of myself into my books, and it means my writing is kind of weird. People tend to either love it or hate it, but yeah, I do delve very deep into personal experience.
Well, a lot of people, PTSD is one of those weird things. It used to be, I mean, people it was only associated with, combat stress and things like that. But there is a hugely wide range of PTSD. And
Yeah,
I think you probably touched on something that a lot of people could really kind of see in their own selves, right? Because I mean, it goes undiagnosed so often. It's
yeah,
just
and
kind of,
I was telling my therapist explained it to me in a way that like PTSD is, let's say you get into a car accident once. And then complex PTSD would be if you get into that car accident over and over and over and over again for years. And
yeah.
so you get that like from medical trauma or from child abuse a lot of times, stuff like that. It's not even in the books they use to diagnose things yet. It's kind of a fringe thing. So you kind of have to do a search about it, but it's when I didn't know what was going on, I felt out of control. And everything was a threat, and I was constantly scared, and I was just frozen. And so a lot of the writing, so like I completely disassociated from my creativity, which is why like I had zero registering of winning the contest. It was more like a guilt trip for me. Like I actually apologized to other people in the contest for winning. It was bad. So and it's better now, but you don't realize you're in these places. And I think a lot of times, at least for me, we spend so much time as authors and editors and professionals in the industry behind computer screens and behind our keyboards that we sometimes, I think, get really lost in our own heads and maybe don't even realize it. And so it was really scary for me. I didn't realize how far down that particular rabbit hole I'd gotten until it was like, this is destroying things. Um, and it's kind of an interesting process repairing it, but I've been a bit more open about this stuff. And one thing that I can say that's been amazing is how many people have reached out to me with similar experiences. And so I feel like mental health and creativity is a subject that maybe doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should, because I feel like it probably dramatically touches all of us. I mean, it did for me last year, and I never thought I would be the one, but I was. So,
I think if you look back at a lot of, of the really notable creatives through history, it's like comics, right? Comics are depressed individuals generally. Um, and Edgar Allan Poe had some issues, right? A lot of people had some serious issues, but I think they used their creativity as kind of an outlet to work their way through that. And it makes me wonder, when did you start writing?
I've been writing my whole life.
But when did
Um,
you start writing to
but
publish?
seriously writing, um, probably, I don't know, like 15 years ago.
So like
And
at the beginning of all this, or was it after it?
yeah, I was at the beginning. So I started getting into this publishing and stuff. I started reviewing way back in 2010. And I had a website, I still have it, I'm getting it revamped, but I had a website and I wrote a lot of reviews and I became quite a popular reviewer doing that. And I started writing and editing, kind of that was my gateway into all of this, was through reviewing. And so I kind of wore that hat first, and then I've changed a lot of hats. I still review occasionally. I might get back into it. But yeah, that's kind of, and then
So what we hear from people then is writing is actually the cocaine and everything else is the gateway drug into the hard stuff. Kind of. Is that what we're going at?
I don't know. I've always been writing, but I never really considered publishing until I started reviewing. And I started kind of really looking at it through that lens. Um, for me, it all kind of goes together. Like, I don't think I'd be editing either if I didn't review first. And I really don't think I would have had the courage to publish if I didn't have the contacts I've made through both reviewing and editing, and people to kind of hold my hand as I've walked through it, because it is scary. Like, there's a unique vulnerability in being an artist and in being able to open yourself up in your books, no matter how you do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, and everybody who's gotten a review, right? I mean, yeah, you put it out there, and the only way you can even shield yourself a little bit from that is to use a pen name and don't let anybody know it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So so I actually the first book I wrote, I had no qualms. I was like, hey, I wrote this, put it out there. I was like, no one's going to read it, so it doesn't matter because no one will ever know. And if they do read it, they'll forget about it in a year. So there's what's the barrier? Just go ahead and do it. And just my ignorance was astounding, and hopefully it's less so now, but it's still there. Um, but I have a question for you. So, Sarah Chorn, you're sitting down in the evening. You've finished your editing. You've got your words in for the day. You just want to relax. You're going to pick up a book and read for fun. What genre are you picking up? I'm not going to make you pick a specific book because I know that's hard, but what genre or genres would you like to read?
So, because I edit so much, in my free time, I really have to be in the right mood to read speculative fiction now, because once I do it for 9, 10 hours a day, it's a lot. So, in my free time reading these days, honestly, I read so much historical nonfiction. That's usually what I turn to. Right now, I'm kind of going through the Renaissance. I'm using it as a research for my next book. So I do a lot of my book research comes from the nonfiction I read, and yeah, it's just kind of what I do to calm down at night.
have you read The Agony and the Ecstasy?
I have not.
Pick that book up.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard of.
really good.
Yeah.
So, one more question for you. Now that you've won the inaugural Sphinx, I've seen people who won Spiffbo. They're like, "Well, I'll never enter again because I can only do worse." Is that a barrier for you, or you like, I'll put my next book in. That's fine. Where are you at in the spectrum?
I don't really foresee me writing a novella really anytime soon. I kind of have one in the works with another author, but we have a publishing venue kind of worked out for it already. Um, So I don't really foresee having a novella. I don't think I'll enter novels I write in anything again. I think I'm kind of done with that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't think so. Probably not.
Is it the
Go,
fear of losing, or been there, done that? You know.
it's going out on top, brother.
I just don't think, like, for the novella, I don't think I'll have anything that would qualify for a while. So I think if I
Okay.
did, I probably would, but I don't think I'll have anything. Like, there's nothing wrong with the I just don't think I'll have anything that it would qualify to enter. Um, and for the novel, I just don't. My stuff doesn't really do well in contests. It's
Yeah.
too weird. I don't. I'm kind of between a lot of genres and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I kind of fit a little more with literary people, and they don't. But they don't like fantasy, and so I don't really play well with
Right.
anybody. But so I don't know.
And I just want to point out, anyone who's not read anything by E.L. Montague, this comment tells you exactly where he's coming from in his books. This is
Everything
classic
you need to
E.L.
know.
here. Yeah. So
Let me go backwards just a few minutes, Sarah. Um, when you started out as a reviewer, was there a moment reviewing where you kind of thought to yourself, I could do this? I mean, because I imagine, for every 5-star book you read, you probably read a few 2-star books.
It's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to write a book. Even even if you write a 2-star book, like just getting to the end is something that most people can't do, no matter the quality. And so I've always kind of had admiration because no matter when I was starting out writing, no matter what I thought personally about the book I was reading, they were always a little bit further along than I was. They'd always figured it out faster than I did. And so for me, it was never really, and I've always tried really hard to keep it from being a competition
yeah,
between myself and other, or like, an admiration game or something, because I think that's kind of a dangerous mental waters to play in. But yeah, even when I was reviewing, I was always more full of admiration than I never felt like it was a one-up game. I don't know. I've always kind of approached it like I've always had something to learn from everything I've read. Always, even when I was reviewing. And I still feel that way as an editor. Every book I edit, I end with more knowledge than I started it with.
nice.
And I think I don't know, that's just how I've always approached it.
Well, Mike has just the book for you.
So, um,
Sorry. I know
yeah,
that's rude. I'm sorry.
no, I just want to say, I never want to be a writer. Never, thought I'd be allowed until 2017 when I started at the age of 46. So, and I look back at what I put like in book reviews now, and like they did not have a comma in the proper place. -1 star. And I'm just like, oh my
It
God.
changes so much. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm even afraid to admit it. I told Bo Kelly once, and he's always like, now he's like, well, Mike, they didn't put the title the way he liked it, so it's -1 star before he opens it.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, I
What
mean, it's
font
just
is this?
once you've done it, and you're just like, okay, yeah, that's a mountain. Uh,
Yeah,
and
it's, I don't know. It's always, I've looked at it, and I'll tell authors this when they kind of talk to me about criticism and maybe a bad review or something. Um, Look at it like art is very subjective, and I really respect Picasso. He is a masterclass artist. He is the best artist. You say Picasso, and it doesn't matter what country you're from, you'll find someone who says, I know exactly who that is. You can, but that being said, I wouldn't want to hang one of his pieces on my wall. And it's just because, it just doesn't do it for me. Like the Guernica piece is incredible. I mean, that thing is just monumental. I've studied art history. I could write just pages about it. That being said, I still wouldn't want it on my wall. So I can completely respect the art and the quality that goes into it and the mastery of the artist. And man, Picasso really was amazing. And all of this stuff without wanting to hang the picture on my wall. Right. And so it's the same thing with books and with everything else. And that's also, I guess, my very roundabout way of saying this is how I've always kind of tried to approach criticism and reviews that are negative and stuff. And reviewing on my own even is it's just like the book is a picture on the wall, and I can respect the art and I can study it and I can appreciate all of the things that went into making this Picasso picture what it is without wanting to buy it. And it just means that's not my picture, right? So that's something like I tell my authors, and I try, and when I review, I try and take it into things. I try and take it into the books I work on, and all of this is, it's not. First of all, once you release your book into the world, it stops being yours. It's whoever's reading it. So that it's done at that point. But then if someone reacts to it in a way that perhaps gets under your skin or something, it's just not their painting to put on their kitchen wall. And that's it. They can respect the Picasso without wanting the siege work on their wall. So, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's my sermon.
That is the most adult thing that's ever been said on this channel, and I'm not sure Mike and I know how to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we are equipped for that kind of rationale.
And I think both of us would be in Tobias's boat right here about
right.
if ever winning a contest.
No, I think that's a extraordinarily kind of healthy way of looking at all that, and it's one that doesn't bring you down some unwanted rabbit holes. Yeah.
Yep. I have seen a lot of new authors, particularly, especially some who are in this year's SPIFBO, and they're like, "Well, I'll put my book up against the best of the best. And I think I can win this thing." And I'm like, "There's 300 books. You have a 0.3% chance of winning." And that's before I'm like, when they look at it as a competition, I'm like, ugh. Are you going to be along for the long haul? Because there's 300 and only 10 finalists, so there's a
Yeah,
3% chance you'll make the finals, and if you're not, you're going to be disappointed.
but you kind of have to have at least tell yourself that you have that belief, though, right, Mike? I mean, what's the point of entering if you don't? It's like, wow, this book I wrote kind of blows, but I'm going to put it in this contest.
Well,
That's
I
self-defeating right from the get-go.
I don't look to win. I look to, what, I will get notoriety. People will read my book. Some people will love it. Some people absolutely hate it. I write first person present tense. I can't tell you how many people have said, "Why do you do that? Write third person omniscient." And I'm like, well, I know how to write one way, and one day I will experiment and I will
So
try.
I think I win. I am a really weird writer, and I write in first person. I have a book out of Honey and Wildfires, and I have a few perspectives in there. I have a first person present tense perspective, a first person past tense perspective, and a third person past tense perspective that switches to a third person present tense perspective, and they happen on 3 different timelines. So, and that's my highest selling book. That's my highest selling and highest rated book right there. That one is sells all the time. So I kind of break the rules when I write, and then it's weird. But yeah, I get that, because people say that stuff all the time. Like, you should never write in first person, and you should never do this, and you should never do that. And usually every time someone says that, it's like I have a book that's exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's right there. So you can make anything work if
Yep.
you have skills to do it, and there's a reader out there for anything.
How many
Yep.
books do you have, sir?
I I have 6.
6?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always adhere to the find your tribe. Your book is not going to be a major motion picture, but you can find hundreds of people who love your work if you search for them.
Well, the
So
thing to keep in mind, um, is that you're going to read your book more than anyone else will.
yep.
By the time you're done reading and you publish that thing, most of us have at least gone through it 50 million times.
Hmm.
And then you publish it, and I don't know about you, but I have literally never published a book I felt good about. I publish it because if I look at this damn thing one more time, I will light it on fire. I will
Yep.
throw up and I will light it on fire and I will send my laptop to the moon. And so I can't do it. And that's when I publish it. That's it. That's my publish line. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm
So,
going with that, but
but
You keep
I mean,
saying that, but I think you do. Because every time you say that, it comes off the tail end of something that makes a whole lot of sense.
I just think looking for perfection is a flawed game. And I think looking for success right away is usually only going to lead you to pain.
mhm.
Because
Well,
very
what's
few
looking for
authors
success?
right out the gate are going to be runaway successful. So what you need to do, I think, if you don't love the book you're writing, then because you're going to read it more than everyone else. So if you don't love your own story, then you're going to be miserable while you work on it. So the first thing you need to do above and beyond everything else is tell a story that you enjoy reading, because you're going to do it a whole hell of a lot. And
Yep.
that's the foundation right there. And everything else can fall into place. Like you can worry about readers and marketing and all of that migraine inducing stuff later. It'll be there. But right now, what you got to do is tell a story that you want to read. Because if you want to read it, then chances are someone else will too. And that's a bridge that you can cross when you get there. But the fact that you like reading the stuff you're writing means that that bridge is being built while you're writing it. So it's not going to be something that we're going to have to work on together when we edit. You're already doing it. So, and like that's what I'm saying. You have to love what you're writing because you're going to read it a lot. The end.
I think that, you know, people going into it looking for success isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
I think people going into it expecting
Yeah.
success is where they're going to fall on their face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
this is a very humbling experience, and it will put you in your place very, very quickly.
It's definitely interesting being an author for sure, but I don't think it's bad. And I hear people saying, you have to have thick skin to be an artist, and I feel like in a lot of ways that's true, but I also feel like if you make your skin too thick, then you might kind of stop being sensitive to the things that you need to be sensitive to. Um, and I don't know. I just feel like being open to change in the flow of things is important.
Yeah.
You should host this show.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm pontificating. I'm really
Actually,
sorry.
people actually might learn something coming on here.
So, so Sarah, are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, big time introvert.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
is there a certain part of you that's just dreading Worldcon because there's going to be so many people?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Nice, Mike.
nervous.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Um, yeah,
Are
I'm
you going to
really
be
nervous
nervous when
because
there are like 8,000 people around your table and Jesus, Michael.
there's well, it's the thing when all the health stuff I had. I was basically stuck in my house for 15 years. I had very little
That
exposure
sounds wonderful.
to other people. Yeah, so I've lost a lot of those like skills that people have where you can just like walk up to people and say hi. It just is really weird to me now. Um,
They've
and
lost them
that's
all too, though,
something.
so it's okay.
Last year, I started going to conventions. I went to two, and they were my first two, and that really helped. And so this will be my third one. But yeah, that's what makes me nervous. Like I'm so afraid that I've lost all of my socialization skills being sick all these years, that I'm gonna like walk into a room and make some faux pas that they're gonna be writing about on blogs forever. So that's the paranoia that keeps cycling in
You'll
my
be
brain.
famous. You'll be
Yeah,
famous though.
for all the wrong reasons.
You,
I
you,
don't want to be famous.
you have to remember that about the same time you went into your house, smartphones came out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all
that's
all of
true.
that people stuff that you say you've lost, everybody else has lost too.
Yeah, I think the
So,
pandemic impacted people a lot too. Um,
I mean, I guess so. It's difficult for me personally to look at that because nothing changed for me. I got up and went to work every day. And,
yeah.
while there was no one there and the roads were empty, which was fantastic,
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
not much really changed. So I,
My
I kind of,
kids were, one of them was in fourth grade when the pandemic hit. The other one, we had to delay her kindergarten a year
ooh,
because I was doing cancer stuff and I was immunocompromised.
oh yeah.
So we got sucked all the way into that. And by the time we started my youngest into school, it was an unholy mess from the pandemic. So it got so messed up. So yeah, we definitely feel it over here, but it's fine.
So I've put out several times that if you're looking for me at Worldcon, look in dark corners or broom closets, and that's where I will be. So
Broom closets,
Yeah,
Mike?
I plan
oh
on showing up and finding hidey holes. I'm really good at it.
yep.
So
Well, we'll probably meet in one of those.
yeah, probably.
Mike will be under a table, just his little eyes poking out from the curtain.
No, but I got a thing for you, Sarah. Go to the freebie lounge, pick up
Okay.
a free book like maybe this one.
Oh
Ooh.
And
God.
then if someone comes by,
41 minutes. There's a
you're
record.
like you're like, oh, sorry, I'm reading,
Yeah,
and
there you go.
and then you can just go away, and there will be a lot of these there, and I don't know who's going to take them, so feel free to take one. They're light. You got
Perfect.
your instant excuse to not talk to people.
There you go.
You can be like, it's really good. This one guy is doing this thing now, and then the other one is there, and yeah, I gotta see what happens.
I think people
So
always want to talk to you as soon as you put a book up in front of your face, though. And people are like cats like that. They will ignore you until you put a book up, and then it's all
Yeah,
chatty chatty.
yeah.
You know,
so what is next for Sarah? What's coming out next?
I am working on a book right now called A Portrait in Shifting Light, and it's really weird, and I'm not sure when it'll be done. I'm kind of taking it slow. I'm kind of in the writing and research phase still, but I have about 20,000 words down, and I think I'm ready to start attacking the next piece of it. So I'm hoping maybe next year.
Okay.
you do a lot of research for all of your books.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'm a big sucker for it. I really enjoy researching. And so I
So
do. I put a lot of weird stuff in all of them. That's from
so
research.
so let me ask you this, because a guy told me this, and I was like, I am so jealous of you. He said that his job is he researches like for video games, and so he has to do like the whole world and figure out all the nooks and crannies. He's like, but I don't have to develop characters. I don't have to have plot. I just get to play the whole time in this fictional world, and then I hand it over and I start a new one. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you just get to research and then document what you researched? Oh my God, this is a dream.
That's
Hmm?
awesome.
That's a
For
dream.
me, yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. Then I'm like, okay, I have all these things. I should probably make a story.
Yeah,
But
doing all that, you would have all these ideas about, and then you would let somebody else do it, and they wouldn't do what you were thinking, and that would bother me.
I'd be on to the next world, so I wouldn't care.
Put a spreadsheet in front of him, and he's a happy man.
Spreadsheets are wonderful.
No, they're
Um,
not. We can argue about that.
ooh.
Now, I know at the beginning of this conversation, Sarah, that you said that you don't have any big opinions, but we have to ask you, are you a Star Trek or a Star Wars girl?
Oh God, I don't really like either of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big TV person, and I'm not a big movie person. And I know like people say that and kind of don't mean it, but like I really am not. I don't like it. Like it will take an act of God to get you to get me to sit down and watch a movie. I would rather stick spoons in my ears and I hate them. And it's very similar with TV shows. It's like it has to be documentary or I'm out. I don't think it's funny, and I don't think it's cute, and 90% of the time I don't think it's interesting enough to watch it, and I'm just out. So
What
I
what
will.
was what was the last movie you saw in a theater?
Oh my God. I have
I
no
mean, you can
idea.
lie to us. We
I
won't
have no
know.
idea. I remember, I think I saw one in Las Vegas like 6 years ago. So that's probably the last time.
And the fact that you can't remember what it was is pretty telling about what you thought about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
fair
don't
enough.
do it. I was raised in a house where I'm the youngest of six children. And so everyone else got the TV before I did.
Oh, I'm the
And
youngest of
all of
seven. I
my
hear you.
siblings
Yep.
are 8 to 18 years older than me. And so I was never interested in anything they were watching, ever. And then by the time they all moved out of the house, it was just me, and my parents were older, and they for damn sure didn't want to hear whatever I wanted to watch. So, I just never watched TV. And then by the time I got around people who did, I was like so far outside of the TV culture that I have no interest in it now. So occasionally, I do better with TV shows than I do with movies. I really, really hate watching movies. I can't underline that enough.
All right. So Dan and I are totally here for you as youngest children ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah,
Danny's
that's
completely
fun.
wrong.
Dan is Mike's brother.
Danny got everything. Oh my
Can you
God.
imagine having Mike as an older brother?
Oh, dream come true.
Having
Recurring that way.
be having BB gun fights all the time.
Uh,
Yeah, it's fine being the oldest. You get to leave sooner than everybody. It's
Yeah.
now
try being.
the oldest actually is probably the worst. Being the youngest is the best, right? Because especially like you're the youngest of six, I'm the youngest of seven. By 6 or 7, your parents are just shot, right? They don't
Yeah,
they just
they were done. They
they
were
want to
done.
know that you're breathing. And if you're breathing, you do what you want. We don't
I
care.
was telling someone that the other day. I was
Yeah.
they were just done by the time it got to me. They
Oh
were
yeah.
tired. They were in their 40s already, and I think about having a baby at my age, and I just can't even think of it. So, I get it. They were just tired. And I'm in my 40s now, and I'm also tired. So I have a lot of sympathy for them.
Try
The
being the
oldest
middle child.
the oldest kid the oldest kid though has to like break the parents in, right? So
Yeah.
they're like all fresh and new, and they're going to try all these things on the poor first child. The middle
Yeah.
child, you just whatever. Um,
Then the youngest is like,
what
"Are you alive?"
one of
Yeah,
my four oldest brothers were all like wrestling in the front yard or something at one point, and they came. This is I wasn't there at the time. They came running into the house to my parents like, "Oh, Jim broke his arm." And my parents like, yeah, you're fine. He didn't break his arm, blah, blah, blah. It was like 10 or 15 minutes later, they finally checked on him. It was like, oh, shit, he broke his arm.
yeah,
Get him to the
yeah. That
hospital.
sounds like my family. They'll still do that. My mom won't believe anyone's sick unless you're like almost dying.
Right.
And
There's got to
then
be
and then it's
vomit or
like, well,
blood.
maybe you should go get a Band-Aid, but that's exactly how my mother is.
Slather some mercurochrome on that and
Yeah, yeah.
put a
You'll
band-aid
be
on it with
fine. Just sleep it off. Shut up and sleep it off. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
some of this liquid
dirt didn't
mercury
work.
in that wound.
If the dirt didn't work, then okay, maybe we should look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Emergencies took on a whole different meaning back in the 70s, certainly.
Yeah.
This didn't really rise up to the point of. Anyway, get off my lawn. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike, you got anything else? Do we have any comments or questions for Sarah from the chat group, which is pretty substantial at this point, actually?
So I finally found this. I do want to share it because I've been waiting to share it for a while. When I took my nephew to New York, Ro, this was the schedule, and this is a thing of beauty. I want to frame it.
You wrote that for your nephew?
Yes. I
You're
even somewhere
horrible.
in here,
You're evil.
somewhere, somewhere in here, I have half an hour of spontaneous time
Oh
scheduled.
my gosh.
That
Uh,
that's
Thing of
awful,
beauty,
Mike.
and it goes till midnight. Starts at 7:30 a.m. Thing of beauty. They don't know how good they had it.
You, oh my God.
So
I would have to punch you in the throat. That's horrible.
I mean, I could go into the rationale of it because important stuff I put early in the day in case I got tired. I'm like, yeah, the stuff at the end, if we don't do, fine. But these are the things that are important to me, and you're a teenager, so you're going to come along because And
He
then
doesn't like send you Christmas cards or anything anymore, does he?
no,
Yeah,
but
imagine
then
that.
the best thing was that people are like treating me like I'm some saint because I brought my porter along so I could do everything I wanted in New York City and tell him it's for his education, and I got to do everything I wanted, and he got to help carry things. It was a win-win. I mean, I was a saint, and I got exactly what I wanted, and I do not have a problem, Jeff. I
Yeah,
can't find anyone to go on trips with me anymore. That's my problem.
imagine. Imagine our surprise. So do you have one of these worked out for your time at Worldcon?
I'm. It's kind of stress-inducing. No, I have no schedule whatsoever, other than I told Palmer that I would volunteer at the Freebie Lounge,
Well, if
and
any of you
then
watching this are going to be at Worldcon, find Mike and try to drag him off to something spontaneous. And if you see someone dragging him off to something spontaneous, wait 5 minutes and try to drag him somewhere else.
I thought you were going to say wait by the door to block my exit.
Just keep dragging you around from thing to thing.
So I'm actually a little stressed, and it didn't help when Palmer's like, "Well, it's the Freebie Lounge, so if you don't want to be there, leave. It's not like people can steal. It's all free, as long as they don't take the furniture." And I'm like, "So I don't have to be there?" I'm like, wait, what structure is there here?
Santosh is going to drag you out to drink.
So
Shots of
Joe
Jaeger
Byrne,
all around.
yeah, I have to find Joe Byrne to find out which bar he's going to be at, like each night. And although he keeps talking about how he buys people drinks, and I'm like, my God, if I have more than two, I'm not making it back to my hotel.
Oh,
So
I want footage. If there's no pictures, it didn't happen.
excellent. I'd be okay with that. So yeah, it's a little stressful because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a schedule. I don't know what panels. I haven't even looked at the panels to see which ones I want to go to. Probably because I think panels are by
I
and
think you
large
should go
a
to
waste
some
of
of
time.
I think you should go to some of Sarah's panels.
So there are a couple that I want to go to.
Mike.
I absolutely will avoid the one with Brandon Sanderson and J.R. Martin and all the big names. Like that just sounds like a nightmare.
Ask
So I
JR
won't.
when he's putting out his next book.
I haven't
No.
even looked at who's going. I haven't even, yeah, I haven't even looked.
Oh, Santosh, just going to have to avoid you. That
2
sounds
p.m. to
dangerous.
2 a.m. Man,
Oof.
that's some 20-year-old stuff right there.
Wow.
Ugh.
Them are the
So
days. Just want to let everybody know here. Put it in the chat. Mike and I will not be back again until next Monday at 7 p.m. with James Craik. So you get a week without Mike and I. Use your time wisely. Mike will be
I
getting on a plane on Wednesday.
I am tempted to bring like my light circle thing and maybe try to do interviews from there, but I just think
Yeah,
there's going to be too much background noise. But we
we're
might give it a try.
we're going to test it. So keep an eye out on our Twitter. Maybe Mike and I will do something. He will be live from Worldcon, and I will be here in my dingy little apartment.
So Sarah, I might invite you into a broom closet to do an interview.
All right. I'm
So
good with broom closets.
so
Yeah, random shorts are good. Just like 20 seconds. Hey, Mike here around people. Here's Mike drinking an umbrella drink.
There's
Here's
Mike
Mike.
hiding behind said umbrella.
Here's Mike after 8 shots of tequila.
Oh my God, 8 shots maybe for the whole event. Spread out, like every 3 hours I'll do one, but yikes.
Well, no.
My liver can't take that.
Well, really quickly here, if you haven't read this
Award-winning.
Sphinx award-winning book, A Sorrow Named Joy, check it out. Also available in the old cover. So just so you know what you're looking for.
And if you have read it, there's always The Necessity of Rain that you can look at next.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have that one here.
And then there's 4 other books that we didn't even get around to talking to that Sarah's written. And I mean, she's an award-winning artist, so you kind of got to read them now.
Seraphina's Lament, Oh, That
Yeah.
Shotgun Sky, Glass Rhapsody of Honey and Wildfires, and The Necessity of Rain,
Necessity of Rain,
and A Sorrow Named Joy.
So
there you are.
Alrighty.
Well, Sarah, thank you very much for speaking with us and raising our what's the word I want to use here? Raising the level of discourse to a level that has never been seen on this particular program before.
Yeah, tolerable.
I'm not fun. I don't know. I get like serious, and then I tell people way too much information. So
a fast hour. And I appreciate you sharing everything that you did with us. That's not always easy either. So, and for all of you folks watching on whatever you're watching, please hit like and subscribe. Like this episode. Leave some comments for Sarah in the episode thing, and come back and see us next Monday.
And I might be getting a temporary tattoo at Worldcon.
Ooh.
Come on, you pansy.
My kid wants to do the glitter tattoos. So
glitter is evil.
She saw some glitter tattoo, and I figure as long as it washes off before we get back on the airplane, it's okay.
I'd like to find the person who invented glitter and just...
Yeah, it's evil. It's evil.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And then you have kids, and then it's really evil.
Oh my God, it just gets into everything.
Everything, and it doesn't. You can't get rid of it. It like multiplies. It does. It pollinates and spreads like viruses. Glitter. It's evil.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Sarah. And Mike, both of you have a good trip out west.
Yep. I will see you there.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay. Time.